This episode is brought to you by Southwest Florida's Sonic Drive-Ins. Summer is approaching and it's getting hot. Cool off with a drink at Sonic. Go to any of the 3 Southwest Florida Sonics and mention Zion ACC to get 50% off drinks.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the second episode of Let Me Direct You with Beth Wallace. We are super excited by all of the support you guys have given us just after week 1. It seems like you guys really liked it. We got a really good response from it, and we already have possible sponsors reaching out to us already. And we again want to extend that offer to you guys. Still, we are open for sponsorships. Just know it's going towards the school. It's helping us. It's helping Beth get her message out, and we really appreciate anything, even if it's just a donation and you don't want to be advertised. We really would appreciate it. On this episode, we had our first adult guest. We had our first special adult guest. Mr. Tim came through, and he talked to Beth about a few things, about what he does at the center, about what he does at the church, and some events coming up for him. And we also have another special student guest who we will keep that a secret until you guys watch through. And then Beth gets to her daily devotion at the end. And that's kind of the format we're going to keep. We got a lot of really good guests that we're trying to get lined up. A lot of people want to share their message. And they think this is a great idea, at least the people we've talked to, and they're really excited, just as we are. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get to the show.
We have different equipment. And it's still a low budget production, the Cam and Beth production. So if you hear feedback or if you hear some alien noises, we're still getting out the kinks. But I can hear myself, so it doesn't sound like there's little aliens. So welcome to our second podcast of Let Me Direct You. And thank you. I have to just thank the viewers for tuning in and listening. And we're on Spotify right now, too. And you can listen to me on your way to work. If you don't have time to sit down and watch the podcast, you can listen to it. And we can say hi to all the kiddies that are listening if you're driving to work. Mrs. Wallace says hi. I love all of you as you're coming to school. So I'm going to start this podcast off with just letting you know the events that are going on this week. And we're going to start with the bowling event. We have these really nice posters up. And it is Friday, April 12th, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Beach Bowl and Pelicans Arcade. And that is at 17651 San Carlos Boulevard, Fort Myers Beach. And for a ticket price of $25, it includes 2 games of bowling, shoe rentals, a shoe rental, and awards. And we have food and beverage will be available for your purchase. It's an adult event and space is limited. Right now we have 26 people. We can have up to 60. So if you're interested, please let me know before Friday so I can make your reservation. And we hope you can spare some time for the great cause. And all the proceeds with this they're going to our new classroom computers, and we're going to do some updates on our playground equipment. My microphone is coming towards me. But maybe we'll buy some new podcast equipment. I'm just going to hold my hand here so it doesn't fall down on my lap. But we look good.
I can pause it.
Okay. So I'm sitting here now and the microphone's not falling on me. So I think we got that worked out. And I'm just going to touch base about the auction. We still have the auction baskets, and we have some really good bidding going on. I don't think Miss Anna is leading in the front row seating for VPK. Miss Anna, you're going to have to get your bids in because you want to make sure you get it. Or is this her approach? She's going to wait for everyone else to bid, and then she'll come in and sneak in her last bid. Be careful out there, bidders. I know Logan Thibodeau is interested in doing it because I saw her name. So you better be careful. Miss Anna's, I think, has got a plan. And we just got another donation. It's from South Seas Resort, and it's for a 3-day, 2-night stay. And its value is $800, and the beginning bid's $400. So if you want to get a little stay vacation, you want to come on in and put your bid in. All right. We have our first adult guest. I guess he's an adult.
Sometimes.
I think he's more of a kid than some of our kids you'll be listening to. We call him Mr. Tim. Mr. Tim, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And we had him practice for his mic, and he was not saying 1, 2, 3. He was saying, "I am Groot." And then him and I were going back and forth. "I am Groot."
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
So, if you can't tell, I'm excited for the new Avengers movie coming out, the Endgame. I can't wait to see it. But let's get back to why we're here. So, can you just kind of give us an overview of how you connect with the school, or what's your position here at the church?
Sure. My role here at Zion Lutheran Church is the youth and family minister. I'm in charge of doing everything with the kids and families, young adults, all of that happens here at Zion. And thankfully, a big part of that is working with the ECC. I love these little kids and coming over here and doing stuff with them. Like this morning, I got to lead chapel. And it's just so fun because you start your day out with these kids that are just so excited and happy and all the smiles on their faces and singing songs that get stuck in your head the rest of the day. And it's just, it truly is just a joy. Like, I love coming in and just starting my day with these kids. It's just, they have so much excitement and joy, and they're just excited, and they want to tell you little stories and everything. And it's a wonderful thing. Now, I do have to tell you, Beth loves to give me the hardest topics to talk about with the little kids in chapel. She sits back there and just thinks that's the funniest thing. But yeah, it's a joy. It really is. And we tried to teach the kids a new song and do something different, and it went really well. I thought it went great. Beth said it went okay, so I guess that's the...
I had to put in my 2 cents, of course, because I would do it the right way. Tim did it his way.
Hey, when you get volunteers in here, you got to take what you can get sometimes. That's all there is to it.
We feel very blessed to be able to have your presence, you and Pastor, and the Hinchies during chapel. They get to see me all of the time. They get to see the teachers all the time, but they don't get to see all of you all the time because you're busy doing your other ministries. And it's just, you can see the excitement in their faces when they see you. And what we really enjoy is Mr. Matt. They know Mr. Matt. Hey, Mr. Matt. And they see, hey, Mr. Tim. And that's what you hear in the hallways. So it's nice to see that interaction, and you know that your heart's genuine for them because they feel that. Their smiles in their little faces.
Yep.
One of my first experience working with you was a couple summers ago when we had our water day. And it was our big hoorah for our graduation. And I said to Tim, I said, so if I got a water slide, would you be interested? He's like, oh, yeah, I can. That'd be great. That'd be great. And so wasn't it Justin too?
Yeah, I think Justin was here.
Yeah,
yep.
so you got Tim, and then you got Justin, who's another wonderful servant, and we have this big water slide. So it started right after graduation, which ended at 10:30. So at 1:30, I had to leave my office, and I'm like, "Hey, yo, Mr. Tim, are you coming in or not?" Well, are all the kids done? Well, Justin and him were the only 2 left on this huge water slide on the playground. So I knew right then he had his heart for kids. His heart was for kids.
I got to admit one thing about that story, though. It's nice being older than Justin. But I did take the shaded spot in the water slide, and made him stand out in the sun for 3 hours doing that, picking the dirty little kids up out of the slide, while all I had to do was sit up there and tell them when to go and keep them from like sliding down into each other. So, but
well, I
that
just
was
have to
a
tell
fun day.
you, that's when I knew that I was going to be able to work with you, because you were willing to do whatever we asked you to do.
Yep.
And then another thing that part of your program is you put on the trunk or treat
Yes.
in October, and you're doing coming up is the Easter egg hunt, right?
Yeah,
So
Easter.
when is that going to be?
Yeah, Easter morning, that Sunday, we have a church service at 8:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. So at 10 a.m. in between those services, we will have a couple hundred Easter eggs out in our playground. And we separate the younger kids from the older kids to keep it fair and make sure everybody gets some of the eggs. But yeah, we get about 50 to 80 kids every year that come
that's
out
good.
for
That's
that.
a good turnout.
Yeah, and there is a continental breakfast going on that time too,
Okay.
so they can come
that's
in
good to know.
and get a. It's just gonna be like baked goods and juice and coffee and stuff, but it's a quick little easy meal that
what
morning.
time does the hunt? When does it start?
The actual hunt will be at 10 a.m.
10
So,
a.m.
yeah.
at the ECC playground.
Yep. So what we'll do is we'll
Okay.
actually put them in the classrooms going out to the playground about 9:50. So if they can get here about 9:50 with their kids with a bucket, we do have a few
I was
extra
gonna say,
buckets and
have
pails
them
and stuff.
Okay, make sure your
but-
kids bring their Easter egg bucket or a
Yep.
basket or whatever they're
Yeah,
using.
even a Publix bag, whatever, just so they have something to put them in and stuff like that.
Okay.
They'll go out, we let them go, do the thing, and then the kids come back in. And some of the kids, and this is totally 100% voluntary, but if you want to, you can take the eggs, just take the candy out, dump them into your
Oh, and
basket,
leave the
leave
egg.
the eggs for us, because
Yes.
then we use them from year to year. If
That's
your
smart.
kid takes them home with them, we do not care. It's
Right,
okay. They're
right.
cheap, and we're fine with that. But if you're willing, we put like a box in there, and they can just drop their empty Easter eggs after they keep all the candy. So.
Okay, that's great.
Yep. We will be also having a special children's message for them at church that day too.
Okay.
Ish
What
Kabittle.
service is that going to be at?
The children's message will be at the 8:30 and 10:30 service.
8:30 and 10:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have two wonderful women, Lou, and who, if you've seen the Young Investor stuff, she's the one that's always talking about that to all the parents and people here. And then Miss Margaret, who helps with chapels and a ton of things around here. They will be doing the children's message
Oh,
with the kids
great.
at the service that
At the
day.
service,
And
okay.
give them activities and a gift there that'll keep them busy during church too. So you
Oh,
don't really
great.
have to worry about what the kids will be doing. They will have little things to keep them busy. So
Oh, that sounds like so much fun for them and a good way to start their Easter morning.
absolutely. So
And then I know there's something planned for this Sunday, for Palm Sunday. There's a rededication, right? Or a dedication? Or
yeah, we're doing a rededication. A lot of people around here know and see our bell tower out there, and we just spent a lot of money fixing that up and repairing it after the hurricane. It takes some damage in the storm. And the bells are working again, and everything's back up and running. And so before the services, especially at the 9:30, I would come to the 9:30 service, get there about 9:15. We're going to start outside. We're going to have a special event and a rededication of the bell tower. Listen to the bells go off, and then we'll
okay.
process into church. And we're going to have the kids. They get special big palms, and they get to do a processional thing themselves too.
okay,
with the
for
big
Palm
palms.
Sunday. That will
Yep.
be great.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the kids then, after that part, will actually go off to children's church where they do their own special age-appropriate lesson as well. So you can keep the kids in church with you, or you can let them go with our teachers to go down and do that in our fellowship hall as well. It's up to
Okay.
you, whatever you want to do. And I will be available around before church, so if you have questions or want to ask me about that. And we also have a nursery as well. So kids that are 2, 3, 4 years old can go to the nursery, which is one of the classrooms in the ECC. And we have a professional person who does daycare who is in there with the kids.
So all of our students know about the bell tower because we're here all year, and the kids have actually witnessed Mr. Matt and Mr. Cronky up in the lift, 40 feet up. And even when we go to the fellowship hall, when we walk back and forth, they have noticed the bell tower. So parents, you could ask your kids about it, and I'm sure they would love to be here on Sunday to see that rededication and just to hear those bells ring, because they know what the bell tower is. So I think the only other thing I wanted to find out is for summer. I know you're doing a VBS, but I wasn't sure of those details. Do you
Yeah.
want to share that?
Yeah, this year, what we do for our vacation Bible school is we actually go down to Harlem Heights Community Center down there.
Okay, so it's an outreach.
It is an outreach, yeah. What it is they have about 100 to 115 kids down there every year that come in for the VBS down there. And then our kids go down there and we do a combined thing. So it'll be from 9 a.m. until just after 11 a.m. And it's the third week in June. I think it's June 17th through the 20th. I'm 99% sure those are the right dates.
Okay. But
it starts the Monday after Father's Day.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah,
and
so you bring them down there.
How many days a week is?
It's 4 days a week.
4 days a week.
At 2 hours each day.
Okay.
And it is for basically kindergarten through like 7th graders.
Okay.
Because that's what they run down there at the center, so we have to match up with what they have available.
So how would someone sign up for that?
If you want to sign up for that, there's a couple ways to do it. Number one, we will have registration forms with Beth in the office within the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Or you can stop in the church office, and any of the people in there will be able to help them sign up and get a registration form as well. So those are the ways to sign up right now. We may get something online through Facebook and the website, but we don't have that up yet. But we will have paper registration forms for that. You're ready to go within the next week or two.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to spend chatting with us. And we look forward to the rededication of the bell tower.
That sounds good. Can I just share one more story with you? Mm-hmm. So I hate to get typecast, but with these kids, that happens sometimes. Every time I see them now, all they want to know is how many laps they ran at the Mittens Run. Because I was out there running laps with them, and they're like obsessed with how many laps they ran. I went in to read in the classroom the other day, and the kids are still, how many laps did I do? How many laps did I? It's like, I don't remember. There's a lot of kids out there, and I ran a lot of laps. But
he's just trying to get a book. Because as I mentioned in my last podcast, we acknowledge the kids that ran the most laps. And as I said before, Mr. Tim is one of our biggest kids. So he's just trying to get a book.
Hey, a book is a book. I like these books, okay?
Well, yes, now we have him and Pastor. We invited them into the classroom to read once a week. And he's also doing that. And I think he wants to choose his own books now. Because Miss Anna gave him a duck book that he's still talking about from last year. Or last week. Yep. Quack, quack, Mr. Tim.
Hey, you got to quack sometimes. That's all there is to it. So, all right. Well, thank you.
Sharing.
Yep, I'm glad to be here.
Have a great day. So this is my favorite part of the show. I get to interview two of my little friends. Each week I'll be introducing new friends. This week we have a brother and sister. And let's welcome Hudson and Fiona. You're on the elephant. How's that? Okay, so this is a microphone. So when you talk into it, you're going to lean into it like this. You want to practice? Say, my name is Fiona. Go ahead, lean into it.
My name is Hudson.
Go ahead.
My name is Fiona.
You're pros. High five. High five. All right. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. And then we have a little challenge at the end. And we're going to see who wins, you or Mrs. Wallace. All right, you ready? Okay. So can you tell me your name again?
My name is Hudson.
And?
My name is Fiona.
Okay, welcome to Mrs. Wallace's show. Let me direct you. Fiona, how old are you?
5.
Hudson, how old are you?
5.
Now, would you happen to be, are you twins?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. First time on the show, a set of twins. All right. And what is your teacher's name, Hudson?
Miss Cindy.
Miss Cindy. Do you have Miss Cindy too, Fiona?
Yes.
Yes. What is your favorite thing about Miss Cindy, Hudson? You talking to the microphone.
I gonna make popcorn.
You like when she makes popcorn? She's a good popcorn maker?
Yeah.
All right. Fiona, what do you like most about Miss Cindy?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Does she give good hugs? Yeah. So maybe her hugs? All right. So we go to chapel on Wednesdays. And Fiona, what's one of your favorite parts of chapel?
We stand up.
You stand up, and what do you do when you stand up?
Sing a song.
You sing a song. Do you have a favorite song? No.
All of them.
All of them? Oh, that's a great answer. Hudson, what's your favorite part of chapel?
When we sing.
When we sing? Oh, I love singing too. Did we learn a new song yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you remember the name of it? This is the day that the Lord had made. Right. Good job. All right. Okay, let's see if you have the same answer to this question. Fiona, what's your favorite food?
Pasta.
Pasta? Okay, you want to say that into the mic?
Pasta.
Pasta. And who makes the best pasta?
Mommy.
Mommy, of course. All right. Hudson, what's your favorite food?
Popcorn chicken.
Popcorn chicken. Does Mommy make the popcorn chicken? Is the best?
Daddy.
Daddy. Oh, so we have a Mommy and Daddy cook. That's amazing. All right. Well, thank you for answering those questions. Now, do you like sour things?
No.
Oh, this will be good then. All right. Mrs. Wallace has a Sour Patch. And we're going to, all three of us together, we're going to take a bite. All right. Of each. You're going to have one. I'm going to have one. And we're going to see who can make the funniest face. Are you ready? No, you don't want to do it? Okay. Will you do it, Huts? Will you do it with me? Okay. All right. All right. Fiona, you can be the judge. You tell me, you can tell us who made the funniest face. All right?
Okay.
You ready to watch? 1, 2, 3. Who do you think?
Miss Wallace.
Miss Wallace won that challenge. All right, Fiona and Hudson, thank you for being a part of our Let Me Direct You show. You've been wonderful guests. Do you want to say hi to Mommy and Daddy? Go ahead and wave. Say it. Hi, Mommy and Daddy.
Hi, Mommy and Daddy.
How about any grandparents out there? Want to say hi to Grandma and Grandpa?
Hi, Grandma and Papa.
All right. Okay, you have a great day. Thanks for coming in. All right. My first podcast, I'm going to end every podcast with either a prayer, devotion, or a Bible story. And as Mr. Tim said, as we were talking today, that I give him the hard subjects. Well, this year we are doing the Real Present God, Psalms 46. And it's Chapel Talks for the Lutheran schools. And today's lesson was from Psalms 118:24. It's, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." And that's why I had him do the song, and the kids had to stand up and then had to sit down. And by the time he was done, he was going around in circles. So let me read just a part of this. Today's psalm verse encourages us to look at the day and celebrate it as God's day. Palm Sunday was God's day of celebration. God had marked this day on his calendar since the beginning of time. For 33 years, Jesus had lived on earth. For 3 years, Jesus had gone about his earthly ministry, teaching and healing. Every day, Jesus knew that it was his mission to go to the cross, to suffer, and die for the sins of the world. Jesus' entry into Jerusalem was a public proclamation. That time for payment for the sins of the world was near. Palm Sunday was a great day in Jerusalem with a parade and palm branches. Jesus is celebrated as King. Palm Sunday was a day that God made. The Palm says, "Let us rejoice and be glad in it." There wasn't much joy for Jesus in his humiliation and crucifixion. The joy is ours because Jesus willingly suffered and died for us. We have joy because our sins are forgiven. We have joy because we belong to God's family now and forever. And this is the prayer. Lord Jesus, we journey with you on the day of entrance into Jerusalem and through the days and the places of your passion. We thank you for your days of suffering so that we may be blessed with the forgiveness of sins, life and salvation every day, even into eternity. And all God's people say amen. Well, thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Blessings on your day.
This episode is brought to you by Zion Lutheran Early Childhood Center. Enroll today. Zion Lutheran is a Lutheran preschool located in Fort Myers, Florida, off of 7401 Winkler Road. Their phone number is 239-481-4040. Zion serves ages 2 through 5 years old, and they now offer a after-school program. Their motto is knowing, growing, going. Zion Lutheran Early Childhood Center.